Adding positive and negative numbers. So far, you've evaluated add the opposite expressions by thinking about number lines and by counting up and down. These methods work, but an even better method involves learning a set of rules that apply to adding positive and negative numbers. These rules make sense if you think about how positive and negative numbers combine on a number line. Rule number 1 states, to add a positive number to another positive number, add the numbers and keep the positive sign. If a number is positive and then another positive number is added, the answer has increased or added farther along the positive side of the number line. Rule number 2 states, to add a negative number to another negative number, add the numbers and keep the negative sign. If a number is negative and another negative number is added, the answer increases or adds farther along the negative side of the number line. Remember that positive and negative signs indicate directions. In these two examples, both numbers were moving in the same direction, so they combined and used the sign of their direction, meaning positive or negative. Rule number 3 states, to add a positive number and a negative number, subtract the numbers and use the sign of the number that is farther from 0. If one number is positive and the other number is negative, then the numbers move in opposite directions. You have to find the difference between these directional moves, and the word difference indicates subtraction. Think about that second part of the rule for a moment. Use the sign of the number that is farther from 0. That's not too hard to do when you look at a number line, but no one wants to go around drawing number lines all day. Instead, you can figure out which number is farther from 0 by using the absolute value of the numbers. The absolute value of 4 is 4 because it is 4 units away from 0. The absolute value of -5 is 5 because it is 5 units away from 0. Using inequality symbols, you show that 4 is less than 5, meaning that 5 is farther away from 0. Thus, the negative sign of the 5 in the original problem, 4 plus -5, is assigned to the answer, -1. Once you memorize and practice these rules, they will become automatic in your brain, but at first, it can be easy to mix the rules up. One way to keep them straight is to mentally think about the positive and negative numbers that you add in terms of money. For example, an expression like 8 plus 4 could be thought of as, I have $8 and add $4 more. Now I have $12. If you have money and add more money, you have a higher amount of money. The opposite is also true. If the expression shows -8 plus -4, you could imagine that you owe your sister $8 and then borrow another $4. You'd combine the two amounts to know that you now owe a negative number, $12. How about the positive and negative combination? Again, money sense helps make this understandable. Let's say you have the problem 7 plus -3. Think, I have $7 and spend $3. I subtract to get $4, a positive number. Or what if the problem is -7 plus 3? Think, I owe $7 but pay back $3. I subtract to get $4. I now owe $4, a negative number. All the examples you've studied so far have two numbers in the expression, but do the rules work for more than two numbers? The answer is yes. Even better, you can now successfully use the commutative and associative properties after changing each subtracted number into add the opposite. Here's a good example. 3 minus 5 plus 4 plus 2 minus 13. The first step you take is to change all the subtraction to add the opposite. So now you have 3 plus -5 plus 4 plus 2 plus -13. Next you apply the commutative property to move the positive numbers together and the negative numbers together. Now the same problem looks like this. Then, using the associative property, group the positive and negative numbers by writing parentheses. Finally, simplify the expression using the order of operations. And your answer is -9. And here's a final thought. While it is helpful to group the positive numbers together and the negative numbers together, there are other possibilities for rearranging an expression. You should move and group the addends in whatever way helps you best solve the expression. Remember that any moving or grouping is done after changing subtraction to addition of the opposite. See you next time.